any of my enhancing live streams that we do, these are the methods that I use when I enhance, and I've had very good results over time using these methods. I'm not saying they're definitively the best, and if you have a better way than these, then drop a like on this video and hit subscribe. Then let me know what your better way is, and then we'll catch you later, because you don't need this video. But this is going to work for you as long as you're persistent with it. And again, I'm not saying this is the best method on the planet, but it's not the worst. So anyways, there's that. Second thing I want to point out, I initially was going to do this video I just have a backup dandelion for my DK in my warehouse that we've been pushing to pen on the live streams. I was going to just do it with this and kind of explain enhancing prior to getting to pry. But then I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what, let's make this an all-encompassing, you know, start to finish thing. So I picked up a Zarka for my lawn since I wanted to get one anyways. I was going to buy one around pry and just enhance it to TET myself, but I figured, you know what, let's get a base one. Let's do a video starting from scratch and explain it top to bottom. So yeah, I got that ready. We're going to enhance that thing and get this going. Second thing I want to mention is backup items for enhancing. This really only applies once you're at maybe the try, definitely the TET level, and it's not necessarily required. But the way I like to enhance, and this doesn't really apply to armor, when I was doing each of my weapon pieces, as you saw, I have a backup dandelion. I made sure I had backups of each of these, and my reasoning for that is enhancing, especially when you're at try going for TET and TET going for pen. Although you can see I don't have any pens yet. When you're at that point, it can get very costly, especially if you're super unlucky. My dandelion took 45 TET attempts to actually hit TET, whereas my Kudum took 1 attempt to hit TET. So there's that. But I prefer to have backup items just because it's going to affect my grind speed, which is going to affect my money per hour, right? Like if I have a try dandy and I'm going for TET and I blow it up and it goes to duo and I blow it up again and it goes to pry and I didn't save up enough resources to do a full session and I'm done and I just have pry, or I'm frustrated and I don't want to do it, the money per hour I'm going to make because I now have a pry dandy instead of a try dandy is actually fairly significant, and it may even affect what areas I can grind for money. So there's that. If you life skill for money, that obviously isn't as pertinent to you and you probably don't. And that's not necessarily a rule. It's not like you have to have a backup. I just strongly recommend it. I think it's a great idea to have a backup item for weapons before you do that kind of thing. Armor's not going to be quite as important. Obviously, like accuracy can be important on your Beg's gloves, but it's not super important that if you lose the DP after enhancing, that it's going to, you know, critically cripple your overall grind speed. It probably won't have any effect at all, to be honest, other than maybe a little bit of accuracy depending on the situation. So just wanted to point that out for well. Also, something else to keep in mind, we are going to attempt for pet on this Nope, we're gonna have some pets, but we're gonna attempt for TET on this Zarka. We're gonna give it 1 TET attempt. We're gonna get it for try in this video. I'll give it 1 TET attempt and then we'll save it for the live stream outside of that. But if this is your first set of boss gear or your first weapon, maybe you just got your Zarka weapon and it's your first piece or whatever, I strongly recommend having stopping points, getting it up to duo, and then maybe focusing on getting another piece of boss gear before you do that. You could possibly get it to try. Personally, I did get each of my items to try before I moved on to focusing on another item, but that was you know, my own discretion. Do it whatever you think's best. If I had to redo it, I would get each of my items to duo, and then I would push each item to try, which I did do, and then once I had each item at try, I've slowly pushed each piece to TET, and we're obviously working on accessories next before and simultaneously going for pen dandy. So that's the way I like to do it. Again, not a requirement, just my personal recommendation, especially if you are a new player. So with that said, get your tinfoil hats on and let's jump into some things that you're going to need in order to enhance. Now, I'm a little bit low on what I would recommend in items to have for this, and that's strictly because we're coming off of a weekend of live streaming enhancing that we did, but I strongly recommend you have 500 to 1,000 each of your Blackstones, depending on how many items you're enhancing, how long you enhance, something like that. You could probably get away with 500, provided that you already have your Reblath or Militia armor enhanced as well, and then